the Committee on Delegated Legislation, which then, if in agreement, takes it back to the full House for adoption. That is how subsidiary legislation is enacted under the Kenyan law and constitution. The disgraced former deputy president should be well conversant with this. Now, these regulations require that all persons undertaking LPG business must have the necessary operational licenses and comply with the requisite license conditions. The regulations further require that LPG cylinders are clearly branded and only legitimate brand owners are allowed to refill and trade with the cylinders. Now, to ensure compliance by market players, EPRA works collaboratively with the National Police Service and the DCIs in combating illegal activities in the LPG subsector. When illegally refilled cylinders are found and confiscated, due process is followed, including inventory taking that is witnessed by the authority, and that is EPRA, the police, and the operator involved. Thereafter, the operator is accorded a fair hearing before any legal or administrative action is taken. And let me say this again, for avoidance of doubt, that the cartel that is involved in illegal refilling and other unscrupulous business activities should stay warned that we are coming for you. Coming for you. This same cartel that Mr. Gachagua is in bed with, he must be told in no uncertain terms that we shall not spare them. In our drive to ensure public safety, we shall go to any length to ensure that we deal with these illegal practitioners, with these unscrupulous business persons. We'll recall the very, very unfortunate incidents of fires that have broken out from illegally traded gas cylinders. Fires which have cost us human life in the past. That is the kind of thing that we shall not allow to recur under our watch, whether Rigathi Gachagua likes it or not. Now, the petroleum, liquefied petroleum gas number 2 regulations of 2025, that is legal notice number 189, provide for the establishment by EPRA of a central LPG cylinder tracking system to facilitate tracking of purchases and sales of LPG in cylinders, thereby ensuring transparency and accountability by market players. The kind of transparency and accountability that these unscrupulous traders are trying to run away from is what these regulations dictate that obtain. The same regulations also require all cylinders to be serialized for purposes of traceability. The procurement of the system will be done in line with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, and of course any other relevant laws. And for avoidance of doubt, such a process is far from completion. You heard him talk about a company that has been given a contract to do this tracing of gas cylinders. That can only be a figment of its own imagination. In fact, the people who are advising Gachagua should do a better job. First of all, they must acquaint themselves with the laws that govern this very vital sector, Secondly, they must also try to understand the practices that this sector is currently engaged in as a way of addressing issues of public safety. Let me say that the country has been operating on common petroleum import system for petrol, diesel, and jet A1 kerosene for the last 23 years. And this has had immense benefits in terms of price and quality. It is for this reason that the Cabinet again, in December 2024, recommended for the inclusion of heavy fuel oil, bitumen, and LPG to the legal framework governing common petroleum import system. And subsequent to that approval from the Cabinet, the legal notice number 60 of 2025, the regulations for import, was published on 30th January 2025. Again, as is required of me as Cabinet Secretary, upon the gazettement of these regulations, I transmitted them to Parliament, which dealt with them appropriately. And they are now part of the Kenyan law. The ministry has been working with all stakeholders to ensure compliance. Let me reiterate as I conclude that LPG safety is paramount to the consumer, and for this reason, we urge politicians, particularly failed politicians, to refrain from attacks to public officers and law enforcement agencies who are legitimately performing their duties as required by law. I heard Mr. Gachagua single out some 2 officers from April. That is the acting Director General, Dr. Joseph Okech, and I think a Deputy Director in the compliance, Major Uma, Major Retired Uma. Let me tell Bwana Gachagua, stop dragging names of hardworking public officers into your political confusion. Leave our officers alone to perform their duties as diligently as they are doing currently. If you have an issue, any issue concerning this sector, don't look for scapegoats. Face me directly as the Cabinet Secretary, and I'll deal with you, appropriately. Stop diverting Kenya's attention to junior officers in the public sector. Yes. Deal with me, and I will appropriately handle you. Okay? So leave Dr. Okech, leave Major Retired Uma alone. Alone. I'm sure the police will respond to you and the issues you raised about them. Okay? I wish to further assure the public that the government will not succumb to pressure from politicians and cartels helping to benefit from LPG illicit trade. We shall not succumb to any form of pressure from these unscrupulous business persons, from these illegal traders, even if they choose to work in cahoot with Mr. Gachagua. In fact, we shall be relentless in pursuing you in the interest of public safety. So anybody out there engaging in illegal LPG trade, illegal refilling of LPG cylinders, our reckoning is coming. Our officers will be pursuing you very vigorously. Very, very vigorously. And the crackdown on illegal LPG operations will be intensified until full compliance is achieved. So thank you very much.